Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to That's English.
Or perhaps we should say, That's American.
Yes, our topic is America and the American language. In our last programme, we looked at the differences between American English and British English. For example, a cab in America is a taxi in Britain.
Gas in America is petrol in Britain.
In America, you watch a movie, but in Britain, you watch a film.
But people in Britain sometimes use American English too. We asked some people, what American expressions do you use?
This is what they said.
I sometimes say hi instead of hello, but that's about it, I think.
I say hi a lot when I meet people instead of hello. I sometimes say, how are you doing? And when I go to the States to visit my parents, I pick up a lot of American English.
I like to say words like hi.
I think I use American English quite a lot. I say hi, not hello.
When I'm with my friends, I'll say, hi, how are you? Or when I'm saying goodbye, I'll say, have a nice day. But I try not to use too many Americanisms.
Some Americanisms, americanismos, are very common, especially ways of saying hello. Instead of hello, Americans often say hi.
Young people in Britain often use American English.
I use loads of American English all the time. Cool, man, brilliant. It's just part of me. I mix it up. I use English and American English.
She uses both American and British English. For example, to say something is very good, she says cool. That's American English.
But she also says brilliant. That's British English.
She uses both kinds of English.
But do British people use American English very much? Let's see.
I try not to. I find myself saying hi to people who are younger than me. I wouldn't say it to somebody of my age, I don't think. But on the whole, I'm rather traditionally English, I'm afraid, and I speak that way as much as I can.
No, I don't use any American English, no.
I don't think I do. I don't consciously use American English. Perhaps the odd word may slip in.
We don't use any American English. We're not used to it, and it's something that we haven't picked up.
Right.
Mrs. Simpson says hi to young people, but not to people of her own age. Mr. and Mrs. Cornish only use British English. Young British people use more American expressions than older people.
Young people learn a lot of American expressions from TV, pop music and movies. I mean films.
They do. But now it's time for the news.
News from the 1890s. You'll hear the newsreader talk about a box, una caja, in a new building. What's the name of the box and what's the building called?
Good evening. Here is the news from That's English. First, the headlines. The gold rush in the Klondike. Over 30,000 prospectors arrive at Bonanza Creek. And the world's tallest building. But our main story tonight is the gold rush at Bonanza Creek. So over to David Simons, our correspondent in North America. David, what is the latest news from the Klondike?
Well, Trevor, it's fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. In spite of being in the middle of nowhere, thousands of people are arriving every day. And already prospectors have discovered over $70 million worth of gold.
How much is that in British money, David?
In British money, that's around £30 million.
And where do these prospectors come from?
Well, it's interesting, Trevor. These people not only come from America, but from all over the world. There are Australians, Chinese, Italians, French, German, Spanish, as well as Irish and Scots.
Thank you, David. Good luck to them. And now for today's other main story. In Chicago, work has started on a 9-story building. Instead of walking upstairs, the office workers will climb into a box which automatically takes them to the correct floor. And after taking them up, let's hope it brings them down as well. There are Americans, Irish, Italians, Germans, and British all working on the building, and some people are calling it a skyscraper. Silly name. But that's all from me until tomorrow night. Till then, good night.
Now, how about that box? What was he talking about?
Instead of walking upstairs, the office workers will climb into a box which automatically takes them to the correct floor.
It's a lift, of course. Un ascensor.
Or, as they say in America, an elevator.
And the building was a skyscraper. Un rascacielos.
Now, there's some more very useful language in that news report. Notice the newsreader's exact words.
Instead of walking upstairs, the office workers will climb into a box
instead of walking. Do you remember? You use the ing form after prepositions. Now, we're going to meet an American with a very unusual job. He's working in a theme park, en un parque temático, in Derbyshire, in the north of England.
He teaches American English. Da clases de inglés americano.
So much to see and do. All the stories of the Wild Wild West are waiting here for you.
Way out west in the heartland of Derbyshire, the American Adventure theme park offers the complete American experience. They've striven to make everything authentic: the music, the costumes, the shows, the rides. But there's one last detail they haven't yet quite mastered.
Hey, up, me duck, how you going on? Are you a right good time? I am, thank you very much.
Try as they will, they've not been able to mimic a deep south drawl. But since it is supposed to be the complete American experience, that Derbyshire accent had to go.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Now each morning the staff gather for the most unusual training session of their careers, American elocution lessons.
Say it again. Good morning. Anybody here detect the Derbyshire accent in that? One more time. Good morning. Say howdy, y'all. Good morning.
Howdy, y'all. Good morning.
Okay, who rides on the Buffalo ride?
Their teacher's a professional actor at the park who really does come from Texas, where it seems you learn either to succeed as actor or teacher or die in the attempt.
How difficult is it to make Derbyshire folks speak with an American accent?
Well, it's not as difficult as I thought it would be, but it's turned out to be pretty easy, in fact. All we got to get them to do is pronounce their vowels and roll the R's.
And why are you doing it?
Why am I doing it? Teaching them the American accent. Well, because of the expression on the theme park, you know, it is the American adventure, and they want everyone out here, when they greet the folks and say goodbye to the folks, they want them to sound as authentic as they can, especially bringing back a little bit of the Old West, you know, so have to keep everything authentic.
Howdy, folks. How you doing? All right. Are you having a good time here? Yes, it's lovely. Oh, that's great.
Howdy, all. Well, what an interesting fella. Qué tipo tan interesante.
Perhaps you should contact him, Tony. He might be able to help you. Only joking.
And now...
How to be British. Interrupting people.
The British don't like it if you interrupt them. Si se les interrumpe.
Our friends are in the library. and one of them is talking to the librarian, el bibliotecario.
Hello. I'm doing some research into my family history. I'm a writer. I'm going to write a book about our family.
Did you lock the car?
Don't interrupt, please. My family history is very interesting. Some of us were on the Mayflower, you know. Oh, yes. After arriving in America, we rode west to California.
Have you got car insurance?
I'm looking for a book on the Mayflower. I know there's one by James Peregrine. He was one of my ancestors on my mother's side.
It's important.
It's very rude to interrupt. Wait until I've finished my conversation with the librarian. I must apologize for my friend. What was I saying? Oh, yes. I come from a long line of pioneers.
There's a man by your car.
Look, if it's really important, say, excuse me.
Excuse me, there's a man by your car.
That's better. I'm sure my book is going to be a bestseller.
He's opening the door.
Of course, writing comes quite naturally to me.
He's getting into your car.
Some people struggle with it.
He's driving off. Bye-bye.
You really must learn some manners. What is it? What do you want?
Someone has just stolen your car.
Well, why didn't you tell me? You idiot. Stop!
Well, as you can see, the British don't like it if someone interrupts them. But what if you need to interrupt? Well, it really is a problem because...
Excuse me, Vanessa, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes?
Well, nothing really. I just wanted to show people the right way to interrupt. You can cough politely, and then you say, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. It's easy. You see, that's English.
Thank you. But that's all we have time for. Please join us next time. Bye for now.
Have a nice day.